Okay, welcome back to another football video on my channel. I do these every Sunday because we usually have practices on Sundays, but the global health crisis is currently making things a little weird. There is practice going on, but it's distance rules. It's football. I can't. Why meter and a half? I don't understand. Anyways, my name's Theo. I play middle linebacker for the Hilversum Hurricanes. If you've seen some shorts on this channel, you realize I'm also gay. I live in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. The Netherlands is the country, Amsterdam is the city, and the team I play for is out in Hilversum, which is just a little that way. It's not too terribly far, but it's still a little further out that way. So now that we have the introduction out of the way, we're gonna move on to, as I do with all these videos, I have comment responses from previous videos. I have news around Europe for American football. And then we'll finally move on to the topic of the video, which is helping new European players suit up for American football. So that's probably a really long video. I made it a second video because it's going to be involved in and of itself. Because there's a lot of news going around, and I don't want to make this a half an hour long video. I don't do podcasts, so we're going to keep these a little separate. So there's part one and a part two, yada yada. We'll see how this goes. Moving on to comment responses. Let's go back to a week ago. Okay, so apparently on the video from December 2nd, 2019, in the before times, we had a game where we were looking for, we were getting our rookies to test things and stuff. And so, like, our kicker and one of our receivers were just absolute stars of the show that game. Someone posted something, I don't actually get it. The sentence structure seems weird for English, so I think it's a AI conscripted thing, or it's lyrics to a song and there isn't the proper breaks to make a rhyming scheme. Whatever. Josh Hull posted, I know this video was made a while ago. It was on my practice jersey and shoulder pad review. I still have those shoulder pads from that video. Link to that video up here. He was just saying that because of that video, he was able to get the sizing for his shoulder pads and do things correctly. At the time, I was a corner, so I had adult small. I'm a linebacker now, so I have adult medium because of chest strength. Someone says next time he goes to the Netherlands, he will search up biggest skate park and come into your apartment and knock. Thanks. A little creepy. Someone commented on the LGBT visibility for American football shorts, a middle linebacker named Waterboy, and I was like, there's two ways to take this. I could either say, hey, you mean like the movie, or do you mean like I don't do anything but give people water? So I decided to snark at the last little bit and say, oh, because you thirsting for that ass. Because at the very end of the video, it says I'm a middle linebacker at a very low part of the video. I was new to TikTok and I didn't know that there was going to be text posted after that, and yeah. So, but anyways, it's there. Original football uniform suit up, Bridge City Ballers. Scrambling for that one. It was a really weird video. It says, don't call him fat. Thank you, Lyndon Owen. But a bunch of folks were in the process of doing that already on various other videos before I even... Okay, so haven't had a lot of comments recently. Football's dying down in the States, European. I'm trying to help the Europeans out here because European seasons are kicking back up because we're starting to come out of lockdowns and stuff. Speaking of which, news. Okay, so sorry about this light here. See if I can... I was looking up some information about the Italian league because apparently they played a lot yesterday. Yes, so the Ancona Dolphins and the Seaman Milano Seaman and the Ancona Dolphins, they both played yesterday, and there is a live stream. It was streamed 16 hours ago. There's a link right here. You can watch that whole game. It's 2 hours long. The score is not updated at the bottom. It doesn't have many commercial graphics on it, but does. But yes, you can go and watch that game. Again, there were many other teams, but I know that I saw the live stream for one, and I know people like to watch football, so you can go up there and look for that one. If you're looking for Hungarian, there's a link also up here. Then cards, they'll also be down below in case you're on a device that doesn't have cards very well. And you can find Hungarian, which is the Fehérvár Enthroners and the Győr Sharks. My Dutch brain wants to look at that at Győr. I'm not sure if the Hungarians pronounce a G or not. Most things do. The Dutch don't. Anyways, So yeah, that's also there. It's 2.5 hours long, and the Hungarian league is also very, very competitive right now. In terms of the professional league that is striking up here across Europe, European League of Football, ELF. The Spanish league just signed an outside linebacker, Jofre Sano, Spanish. It's from the Barcelona Drax. Stuttgart, which I mentioned last week, Surge is coming back they have someone as their quarterback, Jacob Wright. But there's a lot of players that are coming out of their seasons from like Spain and stuff that are like jumping into the ELF in their respective countries. There is a Polish team, but most of that is the Wrocław Panthers, so they don't have like a new team they're starting up. Like Stuttgart still has the Scorpions, and you can go play in the GFL as the Stuttgart Scorpions, but they have this team, the Stuttgart Surge, so you can play for that one. So it may be pulling people away if they're in the upper echelons of the Scorpions to go play for the Surge. Leipzig Kings have picked up the punter, Jacob Templar, from the Hildesheim Invaders. Hildesheim, my brain farted on that one because I'm used to saying Hilversum Hurricanes. So when I said Hildesheim, my brain went, Hurricanes! No, it's Hildesheim Invaders. You can go check out his channel. I've linked it up there. This is a very large announcement. So I know I brought it up before, but the world of import and professional football in Europe is very volatile, best I can say. The Hamburg Blue Sea Devils have picked up a kicker from Denmark, Philip Anderson. Most of the rest of that is, he is probably labeled as the best kicker in Europe. He was also he was a rookie for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But he's pretty much played Denmark a lot. The Amager Demons and the Herlev Rebels. And then with the Berlin Adler for the 2014 Euro Bowl. So if you're into that sort of thing, you can follow this channel, and I will post more information about ELF news as it's coming in. The season is 50 days away, so that's going to be 50 divided by 7, 49. 7 and 7 is 49. So that's 7 weeks away? Christ, that's a long time. I'm going to be well back into practice before that. So anyways, that's pretty much that for the ELF news. There's mess tons that's going on behind the scenes, but it's hard for me to follow it all because it's like when you're trying to follow the draft, you're like, okay, well, I can watch the draft. I'm in Europe. I'm not watching it at 2 a.m. So I follow the team, like the Panthers, that I care about the most and who they're drafting. And let's go over that one. Draft picks 2021. Panthers.com. Might as well. So they picked J.C. Horn, cornerback from South Carolina. Nice. Terrence Marshall Jr., wide receiver from LSU. Brady Christensen, a tackle from BYU. Tommy Tremble, tight end from Notre Dame. Chuba Hubbard, hopefully I said that right, running back from Oklahoma State. Davion Nixon, defensive tackle from Iowa. Keith Taylor, a cornerback from Washington. Deontay Brown, a guard from Alabama. Shee Smith, a wide receiver from South Carolina. Thomas Fletcher, a long snapper in the draft. Interesting. From Alabama. And Phil Hoskins, a defensive tackle from Kentucky. Those are the 7 rounds that they had their picks on. I did see some other teams that picked up some linebackers. I'll probably make a video next week about that. Okay, everyone, welcome. This is a video to help my European counterparts that are decided that during this pandemic you have had basically enough of just sitting around and you want to do something perhaps a little bit more physical with your outdoor activities. And this is for those that decide, hey, I'm going to pick up American football. If you click on the link that comes up here, it'll lead to a playlist that is full of the Football 101. I do not have captions for other languages. I haven't even put them in for English, but if you guys are able to understand this, you'll be able to understand that. I use a whiteboard, it helps. For this video, I'm going to go over the gear that you're going to be wearing, because most of you are like, yeah, I play rugby. Yeah, I play football, all that stuff that you know, talk about, or soccer in the weird places, or you've played volleyball, so you have the knee pads, or you know, you've gone inline skating and you have like the elbow pads and the helmet, and this is much more involved. If you've played ice hockey, however, this is right up your alley. I'm going to show you what they are, what their function is, and how you put them on. The first thing to get out of the way, this is what I use is a combination 7-pad girdle. You can find these all over Amazon, and you can also find them, you know, you can probably find 5 pads, 3 pads. You're pretty much like, what you're gonna get for a girdle is at least 3 pads, which are these top ones. You can go down here past the thigh pads and you can get 5, and then just use the knee pads that come separately. They're like, and they just go on your legs. Like, you just slide this on, just like this. It is intended to be tight. Okay, this is why I call them thigh pads, knee pads. They look a bit weird, but you'll see as this goes on. To cover this sort of stuff up, you're gonna have basically generalized football pants. In the Netherlands, I bought these from a company called Farella, but there's a number in Germany that just sell generic pants. If you happen to be of the thinner variety, not me, you can get integrated pants. I'm not sure what that would be in your respective languages, but it has these pads. It has all of these pads in these, so you only need to put on one thing. But with these, you just slip them over. I'm wearing base layers because it allows gear to slip on and slide off. Plus, you know, YouTube and various things that Europeans are okay with, but Americans are not. That comes up. The D-ring belt goes through. Pull that back through, and you can just stuff this away. I will not be putting on a game uniform because my club keeps control of those, but I do have I have practice uniform. Okay. So we're going over the gear. These are the biggest thing that a bunch of people are going to have to get used to. They are shoulder pads. I have Zenith, Element, Hybrid, Adult, Medium. And yes, I had to order them from I ordered them from Germany, which imported them from the States. So that's why they're in inches. If you get ones that are made here, they may have the centimeters on them like every normal person should have. But, you know, we deal with inches because we're dealing with an American sport. Many people like to put it on first, strap it up. Yeah, that's not great. I'm going to show you here why. So here is my practice jersey. My team is blue and yellow, so since our offense during practice wears white, defense wears blue. Technically, we have to wear not white. There were multiple practices where I went to practice with black. But after an injury where that jersey needed to be cut off of me, I had to get a new jersey. So I wound up picking blue. So you put the jersey on first, and you make sure that the front of the pads, which is, this is the back, this is the front. Most other time, here's my old pads. Most of the time, the front of the pads will have a lace thing like this. But again, you'll also notice that the straps go from the back to the front. Sometimes you'll have hard straps, sometimes you'll have stretchy straps. Skill pads technically have more stretchy straps at times. So you want to make sure that the front of your jersey, which has usually a little V in it, is on the front side. Or things get a little weird. And what you do, when you're done with all that, you get everything sorted around, and then like this. Looks funny, but they just slide right on. And you don't have to worry about having your pads on and then trying to get the jersey over it. This works really well on game days, especially if you happen to have tight fit uniforms. Then you can just slip it on and off. So with my pads, I have a long grommeted strap. 2, 3, 4, 5, and I go to 6 and put that in. And you can just slide this through. Same thing on the other side. I mean, this is a typical belt. Everyone knows how to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you'll pretty much have whatever you want. I have adult medium, and they're from Zenith. But you, as a skill player or lineman, may have larger ones. So now we have shoulder pads on. You know, and you can hit the shoulder pads and run into things, and this is what does a lot of your body protection. So now you can see what the whole thing. So yeah, sometimes you can get a practice jersey that'll have your number on it because you feel special, but you know, at a practice thing, you're not really worried about much. There's always going to be the mouth guard. I personally use a brand called SISU. They do have a European website. You can go into the description below. You can find stuff on there. They look like this. I have blue and a yellow. Let's contrast here something for a bit. So they're yellow and they mold around your teeth. They have instructions on how to do it. And you just put it in and you can talk. Most people have the original ones that you would use for pretty much any other impact sport. Some people actually wear mouth guards when they're skateboarding, for Christ's sake, in case they, you know, take a spill or something. They're not uncommon. Mouth guards are sold all over the place. Some people wear them in soccer and rugby. That's probably a good thing. Most of this stuff is pretty good for rugby and the accessories part. After that, we're moving on to the key thing. The football helmet. Mine is a Zenith, like the brand, Epic Plus Pro. This was actually through a sponsorship deal many years ago, and so it does not cost what you will find on a website. Also, they don't really ship to the thing. So you're probably gonna go for like a Shut or various other football helmets. Your club most likely has a helmet for you to help with, and they can help you figure out where to get one in your respective country, such as like like Italy. There's probably distributors down there. And it seems funny, but it's got the chin thing, and how you do this, how you put this on in general, because it's supposed to wrap around your head, is you reach and you kind of pull it out just a little bit. Not like, you know, try to Hulk pull it apart, but just a little bit to get it over your ears. And it just slides right on. And then your chin strap comes around, snaps on, snaps on. And now, finally, aside from your actual cleats, I'll go over those in just a second, we have gloves. They're a little sticky. They're very similar to like goalie gloves for football or soccer. They're just not as big, but they're very similar. Linemen can probably get away with using those because they don't have to catch, but they're nice and padded. And so I have slightly padded gloves from Cutters. You guys can see that name right there, Cutters. There's a playlist down below and up there also. It goes to all the links. So yeah, see this? They stick. They're designed so that when you catch the ball, it doesn't like slide through your hand. They have a little bit of tack. Okay, and finally, for like football, soccer, foosball, all that stuff, you can probably use regular cleats that you have from soccer. There are benefits to what I personally call football, American football cleats. They look just like regular things, except not a lot of soccer cleats have these up front. And so you've got these up front because as you're playing this football, you are standing on the ground and tilted forward a bit more. In soccer, you're utilizing more of your foot to move around, whereas in football, especially at my position, I'm more forward. I want more grip on the front than I need in the back. So when I look around at like decathlon and stuff around here, I don't see a lot of the football cleats having a lot of front teeth. So I tend to use other ones that I get from the States. It's a bit more expensive, but to each their own. You can absolutely use if you're a lineman, if you're trying out to be a lineman, you can probably use what I've seen at decathlon as rugby cleats. You probably need a little bit more grip than the big stakes that come out of the bottom of that one. But if you played rugby and you've got cleats from being in that sort of, in the scrum, you're gonna be fine working as a lineman. So yeah, that's pretty much that for everything. If you have any questions, please comment below. Hopefully I did a good job explaining this stuff about football and its gear and all of its various wonderment. And hopefully I will catch you guys in the comments, future videos. If you have any ideas, again, this was designed for Europeans to show them how this sport functions, as I'm trying to make this message out so that more people who feel like you can play it. It just does have a little bit of a money investment because these pads, new pads, can cost well up into hundreds of euros, and the helmet can be another hundreds of euros. But again, most of your clubs are going to have loaners, so you can utilize pads and helmets to see if you even really like the sport. But if you do, you know, then this is a good way to do this. And like I said, all the various gear stuff is labeled in a playlist above and below, and I'll catch you in future videos.